Hi, I'm Dave Brannon, disability lawyer. In this video, I'm going to talk to you a bit about CPP disability and long-term disability insurance. Now, these two things interact, and a lot of people have questions about what are some of the concerns and how do they kind of interact with each other. So after watching this video, you'll have a better idea of how the two interact with one another, some of the issues you may experience, and solutions you can use to avoid problems. Now, if you like this video, please go ahead and hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe because we have these videos coming out a few times a week. And leave us your comments. I love your comments, especially on this topic because it is such a difficult issue for people. So CPP disability and long-term disability are similar in that they both pay loss of income payments to people who are unable to work because of disability. They're also linked because most long-term disability insurance policies, which are offered through private insurance companies, require people to apply for CPP disability. Now, this happens because insurance policies are, when they pay the benefits, they're allowed to deduct or offset money that you would get from CPP disability. So you're dealing with this situation where one is a private type of insurance product, the other is a government program. But it's still like a disability program. CPP disability is very much like a long-term disability program, except it's just administered, run by the government. But the way think of CPP disability as the first thing that pays, even if it doesn't actually pay you first. It is the first thing you receive, and then what happens is that the long-term disability, in most cases, is able to deduct dollar for dollar what you get from CPP disability from what they have to pay you. So if you're getting $1,000 from CPP disability and you're getting $3,000 from your long-term disability, once the CPP is approved, you'll still get that $1,000 from CPP, but your long-term disability payment will come down to $2,000. So you don't get any more money overall. You would still be getting $3,000 a month, just like you did before. Sometimes slightly less because some long-term disability is not taxable as income, but CPP is, so that can be somewhat of an issue. But regardless, the way these work, they do work together in that long-term disability can offset the CPP disability. So another thing to keep in mind is that even though they both pay for disability, the requirements are quite different between CPP disability and long-term disability benefits. So it's not a situation where you can say, use proof, the fact that you're approved for long-term disability, you can't use that as proof that you should qualify for CPP disability, and it works the other way around. Just because you're getting CPP disability is not proof that you're going to get long-term disability. It is influential, especially if you're getting CPP disability. It's more influential for the long-term disability insurer. If you're getting long-term disability, the thing is CPP disabilities has a much more strict criteria. Like you have to be even more disabled and unable to work to get CPP disability than most long-term disability. Most long-term disability, even when it says that it'll cover you if you can't do any occupation, there's still some nuance to that, and it doesn't necessarily mean any occupation. I won't get into all that here, but for CPP, to qualify, you have to be able to earn no more than about $16,000 a year to qualify for CPP disability. You're incapable. I've seen long-term disability plans where I've personally had clients who would be deemed to be disabled as long as they couldn't earn more than $100,000 a year. Okay, so you see the difference there? Big difference. So just because you have one doesn't mean you can't get the other. So the final point here is, and the big issue that hopefully you're not experiencing, but if you get approved for CPP disability while you received long-term disability in the past, well, what happens is CPP will pay out a retroactive payment to you that goes back into the past. And any months where there's an overlap in where that retroactive CPP payment goes back to, wherever that overlaps with any long-term disability payments that you got during that time, you will likely have to refund the long-term disability insurer that money. And so it's extremely, extremely important that you not spend the CPP lump sum payment when it comes in until you confirm that you have fully reimbursed the long-term disability insurer. This will put you in a whole bunch of problems where your long-term disability benefits will get suspended and that kind of thing. So you really want to try to avoid that situation. They are legally allowed to do it, at least the extent of your own benefits. Whether they can deduct the children's benefits will depend on the wording of the policy, but know that it's legal for them to do that in most cases. It's very rare. I've only seen in my 16, 17 years now, a few policies over that time where CPP was not deductible. It's not something that people who buy these policies usually want to put in there because it drives the cost of the policy up. Those are the main issues you're going to run into with CPP disability and long-term disability. They do work hand in hand. One gets to deduct the other, that being long-term disability deducts the CPP disability. And there can be some issues with taxes, and also because one is taxable and one is not. The other issue is that you may have to pay back. In fact, you probably will have to pay back long-term disability benefits if you've received the CPP. Now, if you have any questions about this, don't hesitate to reach out to our support team. We have information online that they can point you to in other supports that we can give. And also don't forget to hit the like button if you've liked this video, subscribe, and leave a comment. Especially, this is a very touchy issue. People usually have a lot of questions. We're happy to answer them down in the comments. Take care. We'll see you next time.